as always, we're going to begin today in Sukhasana, our comfortable, easy seated position. And this really is, it's called easy position. So make sure it's a comfortable position for you, classically cross-legged, but however feels best. If you've got a wall behind you, legs out, we want to start easy, strong. Okay, so when you've found your seat, bring your eyes just gently to close. And take a big breath in, filling up the lungs. Big breath out. Lengthen through the spine. Exhale, sigh it out. And bring your hands, they're not already in some form of mudra, take them, palms facing up, on your knees. And we're going to just do a few rounds of long, steady breathing. This is all about acknowledging sometimes our fears of lack of control, fears of the unknown. We're going to get into our body, stick with the breath, and be in the present moment. We'll take a big breath in for 3, 1, 2, 3. Exhaling, 3, 2, 1. Breathing in for 3, 1, 2, 3. Pausing, sitting with it. Exhaling, 3, 2, 1. Keeping going with that nice, steady, round breath, moving in, holding at the top, exhaling. And as you do that, like everybody, just to bring into mind one thing that you've been working with today, maybe one fear, an uncertainty, or a challenging moment. And just bring it to mind. All we want to do is just acknowledge it, be aware that it's there. Taking hands to heart. Sitting with whatever you're acknowledging is coming up for you today. Inhaling, hands going up, up, up. Gazing up to the top of your ceiling, really stretching, stretching, stretching. Exhaling, hands going wide, all the way back down. Lovely. One more time, hands coming to heart, stretching up. Drishti focus goes up as you inhale up. Exhale all the way down again. Extend your right leg, taking it out to the side, sole of the left foot going in to touch that. Inhaling, stretching arms up again. Exhaling, right hand going down to meet that foot. Stretching your left arm up and over. Gazing up to the ceiling. And just really feeling into the body, feeling into the stretch. Maybe even pulsing slightly just to get that little bit more movement. Coming back to center. And we're going to take that right foot, bring it over the left leg. So we're going to start with a gentle twist. So this time, left hand rising up, coming to the outside of that raised knee, twisting, twisting, twisting to the back. You want to be focusing on stretching up through the spine, exhaling gently into the twist. Lovely, coming back to center. This time we're going to be swapping legs, so extending your left leg out nice and straight, flexing the foot. Inhaling, stretching up. Staying in the present, exhaling, left hand goes down this time to touch the foot. Right hand stretches up and over. Again, maybe gentle pulses, waking up the body, stretching into both sides. Nice, coming back. Left foot goes over the right. This time, inhale, right arm lifts. Presses against the outside of that top knee. And just helps us come into a gentle twist. Inhaling and lengthening from the center. Exhaling, twisting from the lower back. Lovely. One more breath in. Exhaling, breath out. We're going to all meet in tabletop position. This time just moving round and round and round in circles. Any way that feels good to you. We want to today focus on acknowledging what's going on, supporting ourselves from the inside out. So once you've moved in a way that feels good to you, come back to center. Right arm extends, left leg extends, keeping it nice and straight so you're in one kind of T shape. Setting your drishti, your gaze at the front, engaging the core. And then we're going to bring elbow to knee, rounding, and then stretching it out. Now's a good time to engage that Ujjayi breath, that visible breath. So inhaling round. Exhale, stretch out. Inhaling, rounding. Feeling it up, pushing through the shoulders. Exhaling, stretching out. Coming back to center. Swapping sides. Left arm extends. Right leg extends. We're moving through any anxiety, any fear. Bringing knee to elbow, bringing it in. Inhaling, exhaling, lengthening. Audible breath to anchor you, bringing it in. Exhaling, lengthening. One more time, inhaling, elbow to knee. Exhaling, lengthening. Come back to center. Really feel like you're embodying each pose. We're going to move through a few cat-cows, just waking up the spine. So rising the back, gazing down. Inhaling, gaze goes up, belly drops. Embodying each movement. Moving with your breath. Keeping going at a pace that suits you, rounding the spine, pressing through the hands. Before rising gaze, bringing the heart through the arms. Taking just a couple more rounds of cat-cow. Before tucking the feet under the toes. And this time we're going to still focus on that strength, the support through the core. So we're going to lift the knees, just hover them off the mat, maybe just like an inch or so, gazing at the front, embracing any wobbles, any shakes, staying with it, trusting your yoga, and then bringing it back down. Lovely. Untuck the feet. And we're going to all meet in downward facing dog now. So lifting the hips. Nice. Pedaling out the legs. Really feeling this pose. I'd invite you just to bring your eyes to close at any time. Moving the focus inwards. Allowing you to take note of what's going on. From here, we're going to lift the back right leg. Remembering modifications, tabletop, elbows, knees, anytime if you need. Lifting it higher, 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 before bringing it all the way to the front. Low lunge. Moving here. Perhaps rocking just forwards and back, ever so slightly. Dropping the back knee. And bending over that front leg, half splits. Taking a couple of big breaths here. Before rebending that front knee. Tucking the toes. Hands go to the front of your mat. And then we lift back. Downward facing dog. Pedal it out, keep it moving, staying with me, staying in the present. Inhale, lifting that left leg up, up, up. Point it, point it, point it. Bring it forwards, low lunge. Moving forwards. That's nice, waking up the body there. Before stretching out that front leg, dropping the back knee, half splits, lengthening through the spine, exhaling down, inhaling, lengthening, exhaling, folding down. Nice. Going to move back towards downward facing dog, so bending that front knee, planting the hands, stepping back, pedaling out the legs, keeping that movement, that breath, before finding your stillness, and then walking the hands towards the feet, Uttanasana, forward fold. Opposite elbows, opposite hands. Trust yourself that you showed up for your yoga. Was the hardest bit. Lengthen the neck. Have a gentle bend in the knees to allow your torso to get towards them. Big breath in. Big sigh out. First two peace fingers, take the big toes Wrap them around, lengthen to a halfway lift, gaze into the front of your mat. Exhaling, folding down again, opposite elbows, softening. We're going to drop the hands and just rise up vertebrae by vertebrae. Nice and slowly, slowly, slowly to Tadasana, mountain pose. Palms facing forwards. Focus first, really rooting down. Is your weight even in both feet? Feel like someone's kind of pressing in against your shins so you can press out, really engage through the calves, through the shins. Nice and strong through the thighs, moving up through the body, keeping the pelvis neutral, so not bum out or shifting forward. Lengthen up as you gently close the eyes. Strong core, shoulder blades pressing gently in towards another, dropping the actual shoulders, lengthening through the neck, all the way through the crown of the head. Soft face, soft breathing. And this is what we want to maintain through every one of our yoga postures. So really just feel this mountain pose, be in it, and give yourself that bit of joy that you've chosen to do this today. We're going to inhale, rise the hands up. Exhale, open them wide, swan dive down. Inhale to a halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Take your hands to the mat and walk them to the front. We're going to all meet in a plank position. Our no fear strong yoga today, starting off with these strong poses, either staying in plank or knees, elbows, anytime if you need. But again, we're just going to rock the weight forwards and back ever so slightly, keeping strong through the center, being your own support, and keeping that gaze really fixed at the front of your mat. All right, back to stillness. We should be feeling some wobbles by now. Dropping the knees, lowering all the way down to the ground. Cobra. Forearms at the front of the mat. Introducing a gentle back bend. Exhaling down. Pressing back through tabletop. Downward facing dog. Pause in one moment of stillness before lifting your right leg high, high, high as you can. Bring it through warrior one. Inhale, stretch up. These power poses, engaging your ujjayi breath. Still making sure we're kind of containing the ribs in so we're not jutting them out too much. Staying here before opening up warrior two. Nice. Dropping the shoulders. Gaze into your front finger. Before straightening that front leg, we're going to come to Trikonasana quite early in the sequence today. Triangle pose. Embracing our unknowns, the uncertainties. Stretching through that front leg. holding it here. Gazing up. Before bending your front knee, pivoting the back leg, and we're going to come to a twist on the other side. So left hand goes down, right hand lifts, opening up the reverse side of the body, staying here. Really pushing into that twist, seeing how far we can go around. Bringing hands back to the front. Right foot meets the left. And we're back in a high plank position, dropping down to tabletop, taking a child's pose if ever we need it. But if not, just gently moving forwards and back. Finding that confidence, the belief to push it just that little bit further than you might normally. For coming to stillness. Exhaling, lowering down. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift the left leg. Inhaling, stretching, stretching, stretching up. Exhaling, taking it forwards. Warrior one. Inhaling up. Being in your pose, Virabhadrasana one. Exhaling, warrior two. Do one breath, one movement, pausing in each pose. Straighten that front leg. Trikonasana, moving the front fingers forwards. Left hand goes down, right hand rises up. Gaze into the top. Holding this beautiful pose for energy. Balance. Before taking hands down towards the mat, bending the front knee, we're going to twist to the opposite side. So left hand goes up, right hand on the floor. Really checking that you're in a nice line. And for me, I could see my arm was going too back. So move that back up top. Gaze following. Holding here. Exhaling, hands going down to the mat. Left foot comes back to meet the right. And we'll all meet in child's pose. So taking knees out wide. Stretching the hands out. Hips push back. Heart melts down. We all have so many responsibilities. As caregivers, as friends, family. But this is your moment just to be in your presence. Experience each of the asanas for itself. For this one, child's pose is balasana. The one where we can just let go. Rising back up. We're going to keep the knees reasonably wide. We're going to move into puppy pose, which is kind of like an extension of child's pose here. So what you want to do is just move your hands gradually up the mat, keeping the bum lifted and melting the heart as far down to the ground as you can. The eventual direction of travel, though not necessarily the goal today, is getting the chest down to the floor, chin on the floor as well. And you'll really feel that stretch in the shoulders. holding that one there. Before pressing back to child's pose. Just stay there for one breath, and we're going to work on building up the strength through the shoulders, through the core today. So showing you different variations on this same movement. We're going to shift to dolphin pose now. For anyone who knows what this is, they'll probably be groaning already. It's one of my most hated, but what we'll do is forearms on the mat, and you want to lift your legs up. So you're like in a downward dog position here. This is stage one, and totally fine to just stay here or come back to a child's pose if ever you need it. Or if you're looking to challenge yourself, play around with walking the feet closer, closer, closer to the elbows. You'll really start to feel it then. And then lifting up, legs in turn. Walking the feet back out, back through downward facing dog, pressing up, and then back to child's pose. Gets you going quite quickly, that pose, stretching it out. Exhaling back down. Well done. Rising back up to tabletop. Moving the hips round, moving the arms round if we need to shimmy them out at all. Rising to downward facing dog. And then bringing the hands towards the feet one more time. Uttanasana, forward fold. First two fingers take the big toes. Inhale, use the arms to pull the back. Gaze towards the front of your mat. Exhaling, folding down. You might even like to take your arms behind your legs here, which will allow you to kind of really press into that forward fold just a little bit more. Feeling the stretch down the back of the legs, soft through the shoulders, through the neck. Releasing. Inhaling, rising up, up, up. Arms going all the way towards the ceiling. Exhaling, bring them all the way back out, wiggling the fingers, bring that energy in. Nice. Inhaling one more time, reaching up. Exhaling, arms going wide. All right, we go again, staying in the present, building on the moves. Inhaling, rising up. Exhaling, bowing down. Walking the hands towards the front of your mat. Stepping the feet back. Exhaling, lowering down. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts. Warrior one, stepping it through. Inhaling, rising up, up, up. Keeping your balance, embracing any wobbles. And once you've settled in this pose, finding your balance once again, we're going to take the hands behind us, like we're in airplane mode, gazing towards the front of your mat. And we're going to transition to warrior three, Dekasana. So pivoting that back foot, maybe again bringing that movement in, no fear. Inhaling, lifting up, and then You want to straighten that back leg. Keep it nice and strong. Soft through the standing leg. Trust in your balance. Maybe bringing a bit of play around, see if we can bend the knee. And then lift again. Or just staying there. Holding that. Before bringing the hands forward once more. Letting that back foot drop without looking. Trusting yourself. Opening out, warrior two. Well done. Gazing towards the front, you've got this. Stretching the front leg. Triangle. Bringing that calmness back. This is our second round of triangle, really, so we can focus on making the pose work for us. So either staying here, experimenting with your bind, or maybe challenging the abdominals by lifting up ever so slightly. Taking one more big breath. Before bringing the hands to the front, bending that front knee, and we're going to twist to the opposite side again, so lifting the right hand up, focusing on your transitions, gazing up, before bringing it back down to the mat. Right foot steps back to meet the left, exhaling, lowering down. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Savasana. Lift the left leg up. Moving through, staying with each pose with your presence. Left leg steps through, warrior one. Inhaling, rising up. Finding your stillness, your power pose, before bringing hands back into airplane. Pivoting that back foot. Bringing a slight maybe sense of bounce, of fun, of play. And then seeing if we can lift off, take off into airplane. Lovely, holding there. Maybe playing around, bending the knee, coming down to land, rising it back up, lowering down, or just staying where you are, playing with the balance, and then rising all the way back up. Taking the hands back to the front. It's a really tricky one, so well done if you're with me, rising up and down there. Trusting the back foot, letting the right leg fall down. Inhaling back up, warrior two. Lovely. Staying there. Finding your gaze once again. For coming to our last Trikonasana, our best Trikonasana of the day. Straightening the front leg. Torso moves forwards, left hand goes down, right lifts, gazing up towards that top hand. You're all experienced yogis now, so you know, take any variations, modifications you need. Holding your variation of Trikonasana. Acknowledging what's coming up in your own mind. Before bringing the hands down to the mat. Pivoting to the other side, so left hand lifts. Twisting it out there. Lovely, gazing up towards the left. Before bringing it back down all the way to the mat. Left foot goes back to meet the right. Exhaling, lowering down. We'll do it nice and slow, all the way together, building that core strength. Well done. When you get there, just shaking out the hips. Take your right cheek down to the mat. Give yourself a little smile, an internal hug. Swap sides, left cheek goes down. Watch your breath. Let your breath guide you back to be in your body rather than in your mind. And we're going to press back to another child's pose here. Knees going wide. Exhaling, taking the hands out, resetting. All right, moving the fingers back in towards the body. Pressing through the fingertips as you go. Thinking about each transition between poses. Swinging the legs out to the front. And bringing the knees up. We're going to just do a couple of boat poses. Our last kind of really energetic pose of today. So for here, your options: feet on the ground, hands behind the thighs, feet up, moving legs straight, your choice. So, boat pose, whichever option you're in, focus on your kind of core boat here, really making sure you're nicely aligned, gazing forwards, before stretching out the legs, or if you've got feet on the floor, just lowering down slightly. And then coming back up. Oh, tricky one, engaging the core, finding that support. We'll go again, lowering down, down, down. And back up. One more time, picking your boat, whatever one you want, a canoe or a big yacht, stretching forwards. And then lengthening out the legs, lowering down, holding here, embracing the wobbles, before coming back to Navasana. Well done. Feet going down, and then lowering all the way down to your mat. Releasing the hands, lifting the legs up, waterfall position, stretching them up, flexing the feet before bringing the knees into your chest, really pressing them in, giving yourself a hug, rocking side to side. And then release the left leg, still pressing the right knee in towards your body. See if you can press that knee in and really keep your shoulder blades towards the ground. Flexing your left foot, up to you whether you want to keep right foot flexed or pointed. But just closing the eyes. And focus on that stretch through the front of the right thigh, back of the left leg. Pulling with the arms, but still keeping your shoulders nice and soft. Letting that right leg stretch out to meet the left. Pulling your left leg in. Really making your fingers kind of like a basket around the knee. Pulling it into the chest. Maybe even moving the shoulders so you can get the shoulder blades really pressing on the ground. Flexing either both feet or pointing the left. Lengthening through the spine. And just taking a moment to breathe here. Shutting down the eyes. Listening to what's coming up. Release the legs and take the soles of both feet to touch. Supta Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Bringing your heels as close as you can into the bum. Arms facing upwards. Softening the eyes. Listening to your Ujjayi breath. That slightly audible sound at the back of your throat. Each time your mind is wandering, bring it back to the inhale and the exhale. Keep us grounded in the present rather than living with our fears. Rise your knees back up to center. Bring the feet about hip width apart. And we're going to come to 3 rounds of bridge pose here. So entirely your choice whether you want to do bridge or wheel. I'll demonstrate bridge for the first 2 and then wheel for the 3rd. But for bridge, what we want to do is lift the hips up. Bring the shoulder blades in as far as you can first. And then see if you can grasp the hands together. What we're aiming to do is really push the palms together. Lifting as high as you can. Staying there for 3, for 2, for 1. Exhaling back down. We're going to lift up one more time. Inhaling, lifting. This time really feeling like you're kind of pressing your thighs, maybe with a block in between your thighs. Lifting the hips as high as you can. Once you think you've gone as high as you can, maybe push it just that tiny bit higher. Staying here, being with it. Exhaling back down. For anyone experimenting with wheel, for the next lift, what you want to do is take your hands either side of your head, elbows up, and then just lift up from here. So bridge or wheel, inhaling, lifting. For 3, for 2, for 1, exhaling all the way back down, nice and slow. Bring both knees to your chest. Tuck them in, roll from side to side. Really massage your lower back into the mat. And then what we're going to do is cross the legs. bring ourselves back up to seated. Lovely. Facing the front of your mat. And then we're going to straighten out the right leg. Sole of the left foot in towards it, the same pose that we started with today, just noticing how the body might feel different. So inhaling, taking the hands up. Exhaling, right hand goes down to that front foot. Left hand comes over. Breathing here. Maybe being slightly more still than we were last time. Before removing that twist, so torso facing straight over your bent leg this time. And folding down. Inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling, folding. Stretching. Folding down. We're going to come back to center. Invite just a gentle twist, keeping the legs where they are, but walking your hands around to the right side of your body, lifting up, twisting back. Coming back to the front. Swapping sides, left leg stretches out this time, taking your legs as wide apart or as close as feels good to you. Right foot coming in. Inhaling, stretching up. Exhaling, left hand comes down to meet that front foot. Right hand stretches, stretches, stretches. Feeling into that side of the body once more. Noticing the rise and fall of the breath. Before pivoting the torso, so you're facing directly over that seated leg now. Inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling, folding down. Walking the hands back up. Stretching the right leg out this time. So the legs are as wide as you can get them. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhaling, folding down to the front. Should feel this quite extreme stretch in the tops of either leg here. Seeing how kind of close we can get the torso down to the ground. Walking your fingers as far forwards as you can. Breathing. Feeling into the stretch, and notice it's stretch, not sort of pulling or straining at any time. Rising back up. Nice and slowly, slowly, slowly. Taking your legs back along your mat. We're going to bring the arms out in front of us. Exhaling, lowering down. And we'll do that together for the count of 5, 4, 3. I'm wobbling here. 2, 1. All the way down. Bring your right leg up. Bending at the knee. Taking it over to our supine twist. Right leg goes out to the left. Gaze to the right arm. Feeling the body. Sticking with the present, even though we're near the end of our yoga today. Really feeling, embodying each pose. Bringing that leg back to center. The left knee comes up. Guide it over to the right. Supine twist to the left. Soft, controlled breathing. Thoughts or emotions come up. Acknowledge them. Let them go. Coming back to center. We're going to finish with a happy baby pose. So for this, 2 peace fingers once more, grabbing your big toes, bending the knees, and keeping your lower back on the floor. Rocking side to side, legs wide. Embracing our last, variation of child's pose for the day. Big breath in, big smile in. It's called happy baby, this joyous pose. Exhaling, letting the legs go down. Arms drop all the way down to Shavasana. Grabbing a jumper or a blanket if you want here. But just letting any control of the breath go. Allowing your mind to still. The body to relax. Lengthening through the neck, through the crown of the head. Relaxing the feet, the calves, hips. Relaxing through the abdomen, lower back, mid back. Letting the shoulders sink down into the ground. Relaxing, softening through the upper arms, hands, fingertips. Bringing that soft, meditative state up over the crown of the head, softening the forehead, eyeballs, cheeks, jaw, letting go of any tension we're holding in the tongue. Just being with your breath. Letting thoughts come in and thoughts go again. Today, our yoga has been all about this process of staying in the present, of acknowledging any concerns or worries we have. People often speak of facing fear, of not being afraid of it, or working through it. To do this, we have to acknowledge it first. We can't be afraid of what we see. We need to acknowledge our emotions, even if it's the fear of the unknown. So it's through this acknowledgement that we gain power, that we can move on to the next place and where we need to be. So be gentle with yourself. Let yourself have fears, but let yourself face them as well. Inhale, big stretch. Hands rising up if you've got the space, stretching the hands behind you. Wiggling out the feet. Rolling over onto one side. Before coming back to a seated position. Eyes still closed, still keeping that focus inwards. And we'll just meet with hands at heart center before rising them up to your forehead. With an open heart, an open mind. Thank you very much, each and every one of you, for joining today as always. Thank you. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your Wednesday evening.